Hello and welcome everybody to the Strickland's trade deadline special. As you can see, we've really dialed it up here with the effects and the guests. I'm joined, Shwin, I'm joined by Luca. That's at Nixtape with 2 underscores on Twitter. Luca, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to talk about all the random trades that have been going around the NBA, and talk about an exciting Knicks win last night a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll do all that. But yeah, look, let's just start with the I guess big trade that the Knicks have made. The Knicks trading Gershon Yabusele to the Bulls. The Bulls then rerouting Dalen Terry to the Pelicans, and the Pelicans sending Jose Alvarado to the New York Knicks. The Knicks also sent 2 second-round picks, one in 2026, one in 2027. Neither of these should be particularly good to the Pelicans. So the key thing here is they held on to the Washington pick, which should be a high second in this year's draft, and then probably some type of decent second in 2027. Either way, that's a nice pick to hold on to in all of this. And this trade is big for the Knicks because, as we found out, and maybe was kind of in the back of everybody's mind before the trade was even made, is that Deuce McBride is dealing with I want to get the terminology here correct, a sports hernia injury. Is that correct here?
Yeah.
Core muscle injury is what they're calling it. So he has surgery for that. They think he will be ready or could be ready by the playoffs. So we'll see how that all turns out. But it made the addition of Alvarado even bigger. The Knicks, you could see it last night in the game against Denver. You could see it in a lot of games where they don't have Deuce McBride. Lack of that additional point of attack defender is a problem for them. So getting a guy like Alvarado is a big benefit. And, look, he's a pest defensively. He's a guy that defends much, much bigger than his size. And they're going to need him too, because without Deuce, they've lost, at least one of at worst, their third best perimeter defender. So this is a big addition for the Knicks, and I'm excited for it. I think that he is somebody who, the Knicks went from like really awesome vibes to terrible vibes for about 3 weeks, and now they have the vibes back again. Jose Alvarado is a guy who definitely strengthens the vibes, enhances the vibes. He's played with Josh Hart, has played on his team before. They seem to be good pals. So this is fun. It's a homecoming too. Look, he's from Brooklyn, so should be great.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's gonna also you're missing, like, arguably, I don't know, maybe your best 3-point shooter this year in Deuce. He's been absolutely ripping the net this year. He's been shooting with confidence too. And I don't know if Jose will necessarily match the volume we're missing with Deuce, but he's been a good 3-point shooter over his career. He's at 36% this year on right around 4 attempts a game. And I do think he'll bring a very solid presence to the bench lineup that I don't know if we were necessarily lacking in Kolek, because I actually think he's done quite a good job this year in the role that Mike Brown's given him. But I think things will look a little more consistent with the bench unit. The defense will absolutely get better because you're replacing, for as much as Kolek tries on that side of the ball, he's just never going to be a plus defender. And like you mentioned before, Jose just brings a ton of versatility on that side of the ball. And I'm interested to see how Mike Brown's going to use him in the gap scheme that we've been running recently.
Yeah, should be interesting. Jose's just an interesting guy. I can't say I've watched 25 Pelicans games or whatever. Sometimes you just throw him on League Pass, but he gets used in a lot of weird, interesting ways for a guy his size. I've seen him being used as a low man and be effective as the low man. So he's not scared to get, his nose dirty. And look, I'm not of the belief the Knicks are a soft team. I think that's always been a stupid thing that gets hurled at them anytime they lose games. But I do think they lack somebody who plays on the edge the way that Alvarado does. And I think that is, can you win a championship without that? Sure. I don't think it's necessarily the biggest component, obviously, to winning, but it doesn't hurt. And sometimes you need somebody to push the envelope. Sometimes you need an irritant, a guy that gets under the other team's skin. And Alvarado gives you a guy that does that on top of, the on-court stuff that he does provide. And, look, the reality is the guy is not going to be a dynamic scorer inside the arc. That's just not what he does. He is not going to be a high field goal percentage guy. He shoots a solid number from three, not a great number from three. But you also paid a price that pretty much lines up with that, right? You're giving up 2 likely late seconds to get this player. And ultimately, is he as good as Deuce McBride? No, he's not as good as Deuce McBride. But ideally, hopefully, at some point, you're going to get Deuce McBride back and you'll have these options. And you're better set up if there is an injury in that. They're better set up today because they got Jose Alvarado than they would have been if they didn't get Alvarado, with the knowledge that Deuce McBride is going to be out for an extended period of time. Are they a perfect roster? No. The Knicks, could they use another wing? Sure. Could they use another big? Sure. Nobody has a perfect roster in the league. Not a single team. Not a single one. Not even not the team that you think is the best, not the team that you think is second best, not whoever you think it is. None of them have a perfect roster. All of them have holes. All of them have deficiencies. All you can do is try and fill as many gaps as you can. And this was a gap that the Knicks had. I've been impressed with what Tyler Kolek has done by and large over the course of the year. I think anybody is lying. Anybody that's telling you they feel exactly how they felt about Tyler Kolek to start the year as they do now is lying to you. He's unequivocally raised his stock. But again, you saw in a game like yesterday where it's not consistently there for him. Teams that can play high ball pressure, get into you physically, he's still figuring out how to deal with that, adapt to that. And he can struggle with it at times. And, this isn't to say Alvarado is, fucking Kyrie Irving or something with the rock, but he is a guy who's more capable of handling that ball pressure. So, I think this is as good of a addition that you could have realistically expected given the Knicks' resources. And look, I'll be completely honest. Ayo Dosunmu was the guy that I wanted above all else at this trade deadline. You look at what Ayo Dosunmu went for. He went for 4 seconds. And I don't think that was worth it for the Knicks.
If the Knicks, Rob?
Yeah, I think if the Knicks ultimately had to give up these 2 seconds they gave up and the Washington pick, that does feel like a little bit much to me. And or if they had to give up some of their other seconds or whatever the hell the deal was, I don't know that would have been. And look, very specifically in that trade, the Ayo Dosunmu trade. I don't have the specifics in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they got a 20-30 second and a 20-31 second, or far out ones that have more upside to them. And I don't think the Knicks had those type of seconds available to them. And I don't know that I would have wanted to give up, again, a Washington pick and 2 seconds like that for Dosunmu. I think you have to keep some powder dry for the future. The Knicks have done that in this trade. You're going to have your first round pick this year. You're going to have that Washington pick. Those are valuable assets to have in the next position. And the other part of it is, if I was going to give up that much, in terms of picks for a player, I would want him under contract for next year. Now, we don't know that Alvarado is going to take the player option for next year. It's very possible he opts out. But you do have his full bird rights. And because I only gave up 2 seconds, again, 2 seconds that are probably lower value seconds, I'm okay with that. I think that is the price for a rental that you should pay. And the other piece of this that the front office deserves a ton of credit for is, look, the Yabu signing was a disaster. That never got off the ground. It did not work. They have to take the blame for that. But they effectively dumped him. They dumped the player option on that contract for nothing. They could have just sat there and traded him for Dalen Terry and called it a day. They had to pay the price to get Alvarado. That's a different thing. But they got off at Yabu for nothing. They got off that player option for nothing, and they took on a lesser contract. Dalen Terry is 5.3. Yabu is 5.5. And then obviously you turn that into Alvarado, which gives you more cap signings, more cap space. It's a big deal. And, look, I'm just going to read this. This is from at Knicks feed, Knicks with a Z. Another part of this Alvarado deal is that the Knicks are freeing an additional $900K on top of the $145K they freed in the original Chicago deal. The Knicks are now at $1,147,358 under the second apron and can sign a 15th man effective immediately without having to wait. So this means that the Knicks will be able to make a move in the buyout market immediately if possible. And if there's somebody that's like Haywood Highsmith is available, right? They could sign him if they wanted to. Garrison Matthews is a guy that they had in training camp that they seem to like. He's on the market right now. He's available. So they will have options. They'll probably let this thing shake out, see what becomes available on the buyout market before they make a move. But, given the limited resources, given how tight you were up against the apron, this is the type of cap work that might make our good pal, Jeremy Cohen, very happy. Very, very happy. Both emotionally and in other ways.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you brought up a really good point earlier, not only about how Alvarado fits in, but also the pivot that Leon had to make. Because like you said, clearly he wasn't going to give up the 4 seconds. They gave up essentially, Rob was the 9th overall pick in his draft class, I believe. So you're giving up essentially a late first, 4 more seconds, and then another salary fill. And clearly the Wolves didn't want to take on Yabu's player option for next year. So I think the Alvarado pivot is as good as he could have done. And also getting under the cap as much as you can is an underrated but super important part of just navigating a championship roster at this point in the NBA. And I don't know if this is true, but we might be able to also sign. I don't know if we opened a 2-way slot as well with the buyout. It might be buyout or 2-way with that money.
Yeah, I think I don't know the specifics here. I'll wait for anybody who is more well versed in the cap to come to that conclusion. But yeah, no, look, I think ultimately you wanted options. That's what you needed. You wanted to improve your depth. I think it was important to keep. There was nobody that was going to be available at this deadline. Again, given the resources, given the price point you were kind of shopping at, that you would have felt good about trading a bunch of a first round pick swap, some crazy stuff like that. It wouldn't have made sense. And I think even within the margins here, the Knicks have found a way to make a move that I think will help them. Is it enough to win a championship or whatever? Obviously, time will only tell that. But they're in a good place. I think based on the reporting that it sounds like Deuce will be back next year. This year, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, pre-playoffs.
So if he is back, this is the best depth that the Knicks will have had since they traded OG. When they traded OG, right? Obviously they completely raised the ceiling and the floor of the starters and of the team. But the bench took a big hit, and you felt that in real time. You went from having a bench with Quickly and Grimes and Deuce and Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson or whatever to, no Quickly. Now you don't really have a backup ball handler. And the Knicks have been kind of chasing that, right? They've been chasing this backup ball handler thing since then, right? They tried Campaign out last year. He had a decent regular season, but, we saw what happened in the playoffs. Deuce McBride, for all the things he's great at, not really a guy you want running the offense.
Clarkson, Kolek.
Right. Clarkson.
Oroman.
Clarkson's not there. Kolek, I think there are moments you see with him. And I do think he plays well with Cat very specifically, but he's not consistent. And when you're trying to win a championship, you can't have that. You need to have a little bit more consistency. You got to have a little bit more faith in hey, if Brunson gets into foul trouble or if he's injured in the game or whatever, that we have a guy who can come in and credibly run the point guard position for 25, 30 minutes. Obviously not in terms of replacing Brunson, but just running an offense. And I do think Alvarado gives you that, even though he's not some high volume driver, dynamic creator. He's a guy who I think can just help set the table. And guess what? Like it eases the pressure on Kolek also, because I don't think Kolek's about to get buried here. I don't, especially with Deuce out. I think Kolek's still going to play, but we've seen the Kolek and Clarkson thing. I mean, Clarkson with anybody, really. But Kolek and Clarkson has not worked. So getting another ball handler and giving yourself more options, I think that's a good move from the front office. I thought it was the biggest move that they needed to make. I had that. I know a lot of people felt like front court depth was bigger or getting another backup wing was bigger. I mean, backup wing might be, but like there was just no real way to do that. And yeah, so for me, getting the ball handler was a big thing. And, you know, again, Alvarado's not the guy that was at the top of my list, but he was definitely a guy who I was very cool with adding. So it's nice to see how they've made this all work, and they've made it work in a way that increases their ability to even add another piece onto this roster before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, this front office is always making the tiny behind the scenes moves that they need to give themselves that little bit more flexibility for a buyout player that might, you know, win us a playoff game. You know, we saw Haywood Highsmith's impact when he was healthy with the Heat during their playoff runs. He's a good player. Mike Brown knows how to use like high impact role players in short stints. And I think to that point, we saw him experiment, and, you know, they didn't necessarily play well together, but we saw a good share of 3-guard lineups, specifically for some reason with Kolek, Clarkson, and Brunson more towards the beginning of the year. And I think now that Shamit's healthy and now that Alvarado's here, we could very well see Brown start to mix in some of these Brunson, Alvarado, Shamit lineups and just get different looks in there. You know, throw those three out there with like OG and Mitch or something and run 4 shooters and Mitch. I think Alvarado, he doesn't have like the size to play up offensively, so to speak, but that's never let Mike Brown stop him from getting guys involved offensively. And Alvarado has somehow managed to have a positive. He has a plus 2.6 on off this year, playing in the misery that is the Bayou right now. So he'll be a very nice plug and play here for Mike Brown in the Knicks.
Yeah, no, I think that's a you know, that's a good move. So it looks like, what is this?
The Zubac trade?
Yeah, I don't know what the full parameters are here, but it looks like Zubac is heading to Indiana for 2 first-round picks. I don't know what else is happening there, though.
That's kind of annoying. Not for this year, but
so this is, by the way, this is from Ramona Shelburne, so I'm going to read this. Key background for the Knicks' Jose Alvarado trade. According to a league source, Miles McBride had a full evaluation of his left ankle due to soreness from previous injury. During this period, McBride had additional evaluations to some other ongoing ailments that he's been dealing with that hasn't caused him to miss any time. The additional evaluation showed that McBride had a core muscle injury, and he will be out until further notice. Okay, well, I mean, that's what it is. So we'll see. Hopefully he's back for the postseason. But yeah, we'll see what goes on. All right, let's get to some comments here. Here we go. Chris Bernhard says, also interesting that they decided to keep Pacome when Begley reported teams wanted him. Wonder if keeping him for a future Greek guy trade, or is it just actual belief in the player? You know, I would bet that it's probably just a question of like, what are we getting? Like, if we're trading him, what are we getting out of it? And do we need to include the salary? They didn't need to include the salary to get Alvarado. So what's the point? Like, there's no reason to trade him. He's still under contract for next year. So if you do need to make a trade in the summer, like, he's salary that can be ballast, that can be thrown into a trade. Same with a guy like Tyler Kolek. Same with whoever you want to pick, that's under contract for next year. There's no reason to give these guys away when you don't need to. And, that doesn't mean that they need to have the most utmost belief in all of them, right? Like Kolek and Dadier and Huck Portier or whoever. But by keeping them, you always give yourself the benefit of, who knows, maybe they all of a sudden develop and become good. Like, you have that potential. So that would be my guess anyway.
And I mean, that buying your evaluation of the player is beneficial for a multitude of reasons, right? They could either develop to the point where you can use their rights to re-sign them if you have their early bird rights or something like that, or they become valuable enough for you to trade them and flip them for more assets that you could use in another future trade. And like you said, there was no reason to trade Pacome in the deal to get Dalen Terry, nor the deal to get Alvarado. I will say this. I have no idea how we managed to convince the Bulls that Yabu was like worth to take on his player option for next year, but they did us a huge solid in that. And yeah, I mean, you never know what any of these guys could turn into or how highly front offices value guys like Dadier or Kolek or like Hukporti even. So the Knicks have done a good job consistently of holding onto their assets until they're ready to move them, and it hasn't hurt them yet. So I don't have any reason to not trust Leon in the front office to do the same still with Pacome.
Yeah, exactly. Jake Fisher is saying that Benedict Mathurin is going to the Clippers as part of the Zubac trade. So Zubac or Mathurin and 2 picks is what we know about so far anyway.
This trade deadline is like it just confused. A lot of teams are making really silly moves to me. Like, it feels like trades are just happening for the sake of trades. Zubac is like, what? Is he over 30 already, or is he still like 29?
I think he's 28. It just feels like he's been in the league forever. He is. So Zubac is 28. The reason it feels like he's been in the league forever is because he got traded like the day he was in the league by the Lakers.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we got to trade you."
Yeah, and then he just he's bounced around the league until becoming a very, very good center in LA. I don't really the Pacers gave up 2 firsts, and it's also being reported Isaiah Jackson now and Ben Mathurin is the deal.
Yes, I think so.
Do we know what firsts Indy gave up? Probably not.
No, because the way reporting works now is they actually don't get all the details beforehand. They just report the fucking trade. They're like, "Oh yeah, this thing is happening. We'll let you know when we know what the details are."
So just from like a basketball perspective, I don't know why the Pacers are betting on like a.
So apparently, I think it's unprotected 2029. Their pick this year, but with protections, and then a second. I think those are the terms. I don't know.
Okay. So you said they're trading a protected one of their protected firsts this year. Is it their own? It can't be their own. That's going to be way too valuable of a pick.
Okay, so this is Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks and 1 second-round pick to the Clippers for Zubac and Kobe Brown. Don't know the picks, but that's the full terms of the trade from Shams, who's probably getting this from somebody's agent or the GM of the Clippers or whatever.
I actually like this move a lot for LA. They get a guy. It seems like they're going to continue to try and shed salary. I don't know if they plan on paying Ben Mathurin this offseason. But they also just got younger in the Garland trade. I wonder if they try to move off Kawhi now. We haven't really seen any reports that they're tearing things down. But they also traded Harden in the middle of like an 18-3 stretch or whatever they're on right now. So
it's The Harden thing is just weird though, because it feels like it was mutual.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't actually seem acrimonious. It feels like they basically, Harden was like, "Are you going to extend me?" And they were like transparent with him. And they're like, "Probably not." And then he was like, "Well, can you trade me to a team that will extend me?" And then I mean, who knows how it worked? I don't feel like it just happened all of a sudden. This feels like something that they had talked about a while ago,
Yeah.
and then it got close. I think they probably got some traction with Cleveland for Garland, and once they got traction, that's when it was all of a sudden like, hey, sit out for personal reasons or whatever, right? And then then it gets leaked out, whatever. But it just doesn't seem acrimonious to me. So it feels like they kind of both were like, yeah, we'll work something out. We'll find something for you. We'll work something out. In the meantime, play well. And he played fucking great for them. Like, he killed it this year. He was doing fantastic for them. Like, without him, I think it's like the Clippers are going to be giving up a lottery pick to the fucking Thunder.
Yeah.
So thank you
I mean,
for that.
It's hilarious because we were talking about it in the Discord when the news dropped, but like we were all shocked at how nice Harden was and like just the letting go of of the Clippers. He was like you said, they obviously had discussions in the offseason. But I do wonder from like a business standpoint how the giant win streak affected their business. Because like, how do you convince Kawhi that, yeah, we're in the middle of this stretch, and then James wants to leave, so sorry, we're trading for a guy who can barely walk right now. Although they did make out really well in this trade. We're seeing the details on the picks. It's the Pacers' own pick this year, top 4 protected, a 2029 unprotected first, and a future second, and the players we named before.
It's top 4 protected and 10 to 30 protected.
Okay, and 10 to 30. So
but that's actually fucking insane.
That's a ridiculous trade for Indiana to make. It is. So right now, that pick has a 48% chance of converting to LA.
I
don't get that at all.
I guess. I mean, look, are the Pacers the worst team in the NBA right now? What is their like?
Let me take a look real quick. Let me tankathon it up. The Pacers they have the 3rd worst record in the league.
So their upside is to get to first, but even at first, I think you have something like I think it's like a 40% chance or something, right? Of like giving up the 5th pick.
Yeah, you still have a 48% chance of falling outside the top 4 as the first overall pick holder.
Right. So I don't know. I think that's crazy.
That seems
I don't know. That seems wild to me.
I'm not complaining at all.
No,
I'm just like I don't really know. I don't know what they're doing. What's the bet here, right? So is Hallie? This has to mean that Hallie's confirmed to come back at the beginning of next year, right?
Well, that has to be. Well, I mean, I always assumed that would have been what, like that's like fucking 16 months after the injury. Yeah. So yeah, I figured that. But I guess the bet, it's a weird one to look at because for the Pacers, you kind of have to bake in like we're guaranteeing we get Zubac, right? We're guaranteeing we get the player, and there's still, let's say, like a 50-50 chance that we get to keep the pick too. So like I get that, but I also think wouldn't this trade have, was anybody else bidding for Zubac now? Was he going to definitely move at the deadline? I don't know that. If he was, then I can understand some urgency to get it done right now. But if he wasn't, then like, why not just wait until the summer and then see?
I wonder if, because earlier report before Io got traded to Minnesota was
also this is important. If the pick doesn't convert in 2026, it goes to a 2031 unprotected.
That's awesome. Holy. Okay. So I wonder if the Pacers had like a handshake deal with the Bulls for Io, because they were talking about the Io for Mathurin swap straight up, right? And once he gets traded to Minnesota, they like panic pivot to Zubac because they still have to pay Mathurin. Zubac is under contract this year. I think he's making less than what Mathurin actually just might get himself.
This fucking Pacers trade is blowing my mind. Like I don't get it. I like Zubac a lot. I think he's a really good player. There's a couple things I also think about Zubac. I think Zubac he had an all-NBA caliber season last year. There's no question about that. He absolutely did. Is that actually his level, or was that like one of these random one-off, like everything just kind of lines up exactly how it's supposed to be and he has a phenomenal season? Because he has not been as good this year. He's still good. He's always good. Like, he's not bad by any stretch of imagination. He's a very good player, but he's not been as good. And I don't know. That feels a little aggressive. For Zubac, I guess, because the other thing that's nuts to me about this is, sure, you get to keep your pick if it's awesome. Oh, Hitler's here. Here's Hitler. But like, you get to keep your pick if it's awesome. By the way, Hitler is Tyrese, by the way, just so everybody knows.
That's what we're going with? Really?
Netanyahu could work.
But like Zubac, you're giving, like, if you don't give up the pick this year, now you're fucking yourself over in terms of like the picks you can trade in the future, because you're committed to 2029, you're committed to 2031. I don't know. I just find the entire thing pretty wild to me for Zubac.
I don't know why.
I understand why Mathurin. I think he got overrated at various points when he scores a lot of points. But like, I'm also a little bit shocked at where his value dropped to this year, and I'm not entirely sure why. Like, it's kind of been weird. I don't know. I think this is an awesome trade for the Clippers.
Hasn't he been collecting like DNPs, Mathurin? I feel like he hasn't even been playing, or he's just hurt.
I don't know. Like tanking.
I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. Yeah. Why don't you just like keep Miles Turner if you needed a center that bad?
Because Miles Turner, they didn't want to pay Miles Turner like $100 and something million.
You're gonna have to pay Zubac. He's like,
yeah, but he has 2 more years. He has 2 more years.
I know he just signed that fucking fleece of an extension,
and I think Zubac is a better player than Miles Turner.
Well, yeah, he's definitely better than Miles Turner.
Yeah,
I mean,
for me, I think the Clippers.
Huck Porty is better than Miles Turner.
Yeah, like, it's not hard to be better than Miles Turner. I think for me, the Clippers kind of just went, this is our best chance to get like a top 5 pick.
That was I mean, if you're the Clippers, you're jumping for joy right now, even just managing to get Mathurin out of Zubac, I think. And then you land 2 firsts on top of that, one which has a very high chance of being like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I just I don't get the.
I mean, it's a good gamble. I mean, ultimately, if you're giving up like the 10th or the 12th pick in this year's draft, and you're getting like the 5th or the 7th pick, then ultimately, I think it works out. So, it's a gamble, but I think that was probably their best way to get into the lottery, and I don't blame them for like going for it.
It's worth it just because you get 2 unprotected picks. Like, we literally are seeing it with Indiana this fucking year, right? Like, if Halliburton gets hurt, who knows? Like, he tore his Achilles. Like, it's not like it's insane to think that he could have issues long term. Who knows what those picks could be in 2 years? And as you know, look, for all the fucking depth and like they're so good at, you know, everything they do. Like, okay, well, they lost Halliburton. Miles Turner's gone, and they're one of the worst fucking teams in the league. Like, this is not like. And also, how old is Rick Carlisle? 75 years old. Like, who the hell knows when he's going to stop coaching? You're just going to replace him easily as head coach? I don't know. Like, I think there's plenty of risk here for the Pacers. And once Harden says he's out, right? Once you do that trade and you know that Garland is at best, he's going to be back after the All-Star break, you might already be dead in the water in terms of like playoff positioning, seeding, or whatever in the West. Your pick is gone already. So what's the actual downside here for the Clippers? I don't think there's much of a downside. And your season was probably cooked the moment that Harden was traded. So I'm with Tyrese. I think this is pretty much like a no-brainer for the Clippers. Once you get the protections down to 1-4, like,
yeah,
and they're not going to jump higher than 10. Like, that's not happening. They're not jumping past 9.
The funniest part of the whole trade is the backside of the protection being like 4 or 10 to whatever the end of the first.
Yeah, 10 to 14.
So like there's no way that pick's getting there.
Yeah, like I don't really see. It must have. I would like to know who they were bidding against. Also, they get Mathurin in the deal again. Like, I understand why people are down on him. For a team like the Clippers, getting a piece like Mathurin is probably, it's nice. You take a flyer on him. Again, to the point like Tyrese made in terms of the pick, it's your opportunity to get cheap young talent, right? Like, get it in the door and try and develop these guys and see what happens. I don't know. Like, you go from having basically no young talent to, okay, maybe Darius Garland's body isn't broken. He just needs time to get back. Let's take a chance on Mathurin. We have a chance at a top pick in this year's draft. If not, we have 2 unprotected picks in the future. Like, it's a good deal for them. I don't really see how this would be bad.
They can also like always trade Kawhi. Like,
they still can. I mean, there's still there's 23 minutes here.
Yeah, like I would like to see Kawhi in orange and blue personally. I would enjoy that. Listen, I think Jose Alvarado and Kawhi Leonard would be a really good deadline personally.
I mean, let's play. let's play. You know, make believe here for a second. Are we trading Cat for Kawhi?
Yes.
I think nobody's trading for Kawhi. I don't think they're going to trade him. I feel like
if the hypothetical is available, yes. If they're like give us Cat, we give you Kawhi.
So our center depth is now pray Mitch Robinson doesn't die.
It's Mitch and
Huck 40 and Trey Jemison.
Yeah, you're going to war. Yeah. You're going to war with that.
We're playing a lot of OG small ball 5, and we're out here praying. Okay.
So we're killing OG too for this.
OG's just a sacrifice.
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Chris Haynes says this. Indiana Pacers made a run at Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler and offered a package highlighted by 2 unprotected first-round picks. It was declined, and Pacers pivoted to Zubac. Kessler will be in demand as a restricted free agent this summer. I can't believe Danny Ainge turned down
Danny
free
Ainge
crap.
Is the funniest person ever.
Okay, wait. What do they think? What are they doing? You just traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. You have Lauri Markkanen. Where is Walker Kessler going to play? Unless he would have played Lauri Markkanen at the 3.
No, the funniest thing about this is the entire price that he had been holding out for. Remember last year it was like they're like, we want 2 firsts for Walker Kessler, we want 2 firsts. You finally got it, and he was like, no, you know what?
I want 3.
Yeah.
He's like, if I could get 2, I feel like I could probably get 3.
I want 2 though, 3.
Yeah. The second's nice, Mathurin's nice, but I could really use a 3rd first-round pick, actually. I could use here.
I don't know what Danny. I really don't know what Danny was doing this.
He's like
this traded deadline. He's just like, you know what? I traded too many picks. I need to replenish my stock.
He's like, a chance to land Cam Boozer or AJ DeBonsta, or the idea of Walker Kessler.
I want Walker.
Yeah, the theory of Walker Kessler. Okay, we have some real fucking fantastic trades happening here. Charlotte Hornets are trading Tyus Jones to the Dallas Mavericks for Malachi Branham.
Nice.
The best part of this fucking tweet is this. Mavericks have had interest in Jones this season and get him today. Get the fuck out of my face, Shams. They did not have interest in Tyus Jones until the moment that they were like, so we can just get him for free. You don't care? Like we're giving you nothing? No. Okay, great. Let's do it. Tyrese, what are your thoughts about Alvarado?
I think Alvarado is better than Tyler Kolek, and I'm happy.
Have you tweeted anything suspect about Alvarado yet?
No, I just tweeted that one like Steph Curry clip. I've actually been pretty tame on Twitter the last 24 hours, I want to say. Aside from the fact that I said that.
I saw what you tweeted about Mitchell Robinson.
Listen, there's nothing there is nothing wrong with a little platonic conditioning of another man's beard. I don't really see the problem here. Listen, whatever we need to do to keep that man healthy, I'm willing to do it. Okay. And you can interpret it. Oh wow.
Sorry. The Bucks and Suns have expanded this to a 3-team deal to include the Chicago Bulls, Ousmane Dieng to Milwaukee, and Nick Richards to Chicago. The Bulls get their center, fellas.
Wow. Yabu competition. This is real. He's got to fight for his minutes now.
Wait, so the rotation is like Yabu Sele and Nick Richards for center.
It's 58 guards and Jalen Smith.
And Jalen Smith.
And Jaden Ivey.
Jalen Smith's on my fantasy team. Unfortunately, Kobe White is too. I'm gonna have to fucking cut his ass.
Why did you have Jalen Smith in your fantasy team of all people?
He's been fucking good for fantasy, dude. What are you talking about? What are those game logs?
Am I just not? Am I not? Do I not know balls? I'm not locked in. You're right. Yeah. I am a casual.
I think the Pistons should trade for
Why is he good this year? What the fuck? Okay. All right, dude. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, back to Alvarado. Real quickly, I think the trade. I think the Knicks needed a little bit more scrappiness at the point of attack. I think they could have used another shooter the way that Alvarado was able to shoot. Ultimately, another ball handler on this team was severely needed. I mean, Kolek was able to fill that role, but I did think he struggled against ball pressure to the point where, like, I think Shaq tweeted it out yesterday, but it's also Mo Diawara was probably going up the court with the ball better than Kolek was. So I think it's good for the Knicks to kind of have that backup ball handler. I do think he could play with Brunson. Probably not for long stretches, but I do think that he's able to play with Brunson. And ultimately, that means that less Jordan Clarkson minutes, which are a good thing. Even though we lose the aura, we get better players. So,
yeah,
if he actually opts in next season and we extend him off of the opt-in, then I feel a lot happier about it than if he opts out and you have to like pay him.
Yeah, I think the fact that Deuce is hurt, obviously, like it almost makes it an even. I mean, yeah, it makes it a better acquisition, and ultimately, hopefully, it just means less Clarkson. Like I don't even disagree with you, like that Kolek definitely has issues against teams that can pressure the ball consistently, but like I'm 1,000% confident Tyler Kolek is not killing you the way that Jordan Clarkson is out there killing you on like a nightly basis when he plays. And
he looks so cool.
The less opportunity for that, the happier I am. If Clarkson wants to just like debut, like, just model fits before every game, that's cool. He can, he can make you happy, Tyrese, while he does that, and he can make me happy by just sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. That I think is the ideal compromise for us on Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah,
it's funny because the Knicks are actually winning Clarkson's minutes this year. They have a plus 1.4 net rating when he plays, but he's a negative 8.4 on off. So yeah, I don't know.
But
I mean, we have talked about this like since he's been benched. He hasn't been like destructive, detrimental, like super pouty or a guy, which is nice. He's been like actually okay with being a bench vet. In a way, we kind of similarly saw the
he tweets out like he does like inspirational vet tweets.
I think the day he got benched, he tweeted like some shit about like that show he was watching, and he replied to some dude being like, "This is why you got benched," and he was like, "Yeah, bro."
He did something like he like said something about like Kolek too. He was like, "Yeah, Kolek, go off," or something like that. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, look, if he's happy to sit on the bench, I have no I like having him around. He seems like a nice guy, and he's not creating any issues. So, he's well liked in the locker room for all intents and purposes. Seems like he gets on with Josh. I mean, Josh Hart and him obviously played together in LA, and he seems to get along with everybody. So I don't really have a problem with it as long as Mike Brown never starts him in a game again.
That was insane.
I really don't get it because why didn't you just start Shamit? You've been starting Shamit all season when Hart was hurt, and now Shamit's back and Hart's hurt. And you're like, you know what? I really want to throw Jordan Clarkson the bone. This is the problem with Mike Brown, dude. I love it. It was like Jesus Christ.
It was like his Tom Thibodeau tribute. It was like his Tom Thibodeau memorial yesterday.
That was his elf moment.
No, gotta keep the bench mob together. I like my bench together.
I know. And it worked out because Jordan Clarkson is better than fucking Precious Achiuwa or anything like that. But he could have started Shamit. He could have started.
Is he better than Precious? Precious is hooping this year.
Precious is hooping for a negative on-off. Okay.
Did Precious going off against the Knicks in Sacramento, was that the worst day of your life, Tyrese?
Oh, I was sleeping. I didn't even watch that game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was asleep. I saw the score. I came home and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore."
He said in the Shwin, I don't know if you saw it, but he said in the practice the day before, he was like, "Yeah, I've been texting the guys all week. We've been shit talking already. I can't wait to see them on the court." And then proceeds to go hit 3 threes, have 4 stocks in that game, 10 boards.
Yeah, that was
nuts. I can't do this.
I know he did it for Tibbs.
The guy that he hated.
Tibbs revenge.
He's like, at least Tibbs played me. Mike Brown would have played me.
Yeah, and Mike Brown's probably I literally play everybody, man. That's my thing. I play everybody.
I would play Trey Jemison 30 minutes if I really could.
He was actually getting minutes in the beginning of the year.
He closed a game with Trey Jemison against the fucking Pacers.
I know.
That was the That was the game. Was that the game Jalen was hurt?
That was the game that Jalen hit the buzzer beater.
Or was that the buzzer beater?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. Jalen played, but really, aside from the buzzer beater, he was fucking
terrible.
He was like a dictator.
And Kolek had 20 and 10.
Yeah, Kolek actually went crazy. He took over in the fourth quarter, I remember at least.
Yep.
So yeah, this is good. Chris Bernard asks, who's going to be excited to watch Ja mope when he doesn't get traded by 3? I can't believe that he hasn't been traded yet.
The funniest report this morning was Wendy being like, the Grizzlies aren't expected to move Ja because nobody wants him on their team.
The picture with that tweet was really good.
Yeah, with the celly. Yeah, you know what you're doing over there.
I think the report is they're adamant they get a first for him, and Pat Riley's probably just taking a nap right now. So
if Pat Riley wakes up from his nap within the next 12 minutes, hopefully they trade for him and then give him that nice 3-year, $168 million extension he's been looking for.
That'd be close, bro.
That would make me pretty happy.
I'm sorry, Ja Morant slowly spiraling on the court while he has to watch Zach Edey catch grenades. I'm sorry, this is gonna be cinema. There's gonna be a league pass team just because I want to see how far Ja falls. Ja Morant might start speaking he might just dap up Netanyahu at half court.
They also have 70 guards.
I know.
By the way, this is from Kirthika Uthaya 15 minutes left. 3 teams have not made a trade. Rockets, Heat, Spurs. One of those teams is good, so I can understand why they wouldn't make a trade.
Why would the Rockets not make a trade?
Because the Rockets
they traded for Kevin Durant in the summer, so they're good to go. They don't need to do anything else.
I also don't know what they would even trade at this point.
At this point, there's nothing to trade for. But
can they trade Kevin Durant? Is that available to them?
Probably not. Jabari just got paid. Fred VanVleet's hurt. They're not trading him in. They probably should trade Tari, but I guess they want to extend Tari. I don't know who they would trade in this team.
They want to keep everybody, and they're gonna not be able to do that.
Plus, Steven Adams got hurt.
Trade. Yeah. The center not making a center trade is probably my biggest point of confusion for them.
I know. Why didn't they just trade fucking 3 unprotected first-round picks for Zubac or Walker Kessler?
Honestly, I'm they should have just traded for Vooch.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, they should have done something. I don't know. It seemed, but yeah, I mean, Fisher was saying yesterday on the stream that he did that he didn't expect the Rockets to make a trade. None of their beat guys were expecting them to make a trade. So I guess they're just
that's crazy to me.
It would make more sense to me if Kevin Durant was like 31. And even then I'd be like, I don't know, like I feel like you should probably try to do something this year. But he's what is he, like fucking 37?
37.
Going on 50?
Going on 38. So
and I mean he's like, that's not a guy where you're gonna expect him to just like uptick his volume in the playoffs now, right? He's like chilling at, I think he's still averaging like 25, but he's not taking a ton of shots. He's taken mostly like his most consistent game box scores are like 23 points on 13 shots. And with Fred out for the year and not having another center, I don't really know who they're expecting to just like take that playoff pressure. Tari, fuck no. Reed Shepherd, hell no. Şengün will probably do his best, but I don't think he has what it takes to be a number one engine still. Amen still has, I don't think he shot a 3 all year.
He's missed a lot.
Just like your podcast partner, Tyrese.
We don't talk about the Gooner on this one. Okay. Sam's on my podcast partner until Sunday. It's okay. I don't claim him from Monday to
Saturday. Going back to some of the bigger moves, we touched on it while we were talking about the Walker Kessler thing. Obviously, the Jazz traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. They give up the best of their first, Cleveland's first, Minnesota first next year in 2027. They give up the Lakers first in 2027, which is top 4 protected. And they give up the 2031 unprotected Suns pick. They also give up Walter Clayton and Taylor Hendricks. They also get back Vince Williams Jr., John Conchar, and Jock Landale. I don't know I'm with you, Tyrese. I don't really get the vision here of like, are you just gonna go 3, 4, 5 of marking in JJJ and Kessler? And like, I kind of understand the idea of trying to get a strong defender, as many strong defenders in the front court to kind of protect Markkanen and protect Keontae George, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like because the value of the trade actually doesn't bother me. I'm not even like a huge JJJ guy. I think it's like fine value to give up for him, but that's what it feels like, right? It feels like they saw a value they liked for a player and were like, okay, let's just get this player and then we'll make sense of it all later.
I don't really. I mean, if the Jazz, like, if Ainge finally wants to just start trying to make a push at contention this year, not contention, like just like starting to try to make steps towards being at least a consistent play-in team in the West, I guess this is an okay move to make, considering where the market's at. I mean, I am obviously not a GM or executive, so I have no idea who's available, who's not. But the biggest point of this to me is like, now you're betting on the Keontae George leap to be a real thing. Because Lowry's not going to be the guy who's going to be, your play starter. JJJ is not going to be your guy who's going to be a play starter. And then this also puts a lot of pressure on Ace to be not only a consistent offensive threat, to make sure that spacing isn't absolutely horrendous, but he also has a lot of slack to pick up defensively now, because you can say what you want about JJJ as a defender, but I don't know if his impact is as high as the consensus thinks it is. And he also can't rebound. Like that front court is going to be terrible at rebounding the ball outside of Walker.
Sam definitely gets more rebounds than JJJ.
What is he even averaging this year? Like,
it's probably like 5.5 rebounds.
He's averaging 5.8 rebounds a year this year, which is
like a career high.
His highest. It's the second highest in his career and the highest since 2022.
Good Lord.
Like, you're
No,
6'11", man. I don't get
the rebounding thing is crazy. The foul stuff with him, like, he's as bad as Cat with that shit. Where I'm like, it's infuriating. He's also not ever like a particularly efficient scoring big. And it's bizarre because he's actually like he's like a pretty decent 3-point shooter. He's not fantastic, but he's like a decent 3-point shooter. But he's just not that efficient overall. And he's not a creator. I don't know, he's kind of like a very hyper specific type of player. And I don't know. It's a strange. I would almost feel better about this if they like then went and traded Markkanen and got back different pieces on the perimeter or something. I don't know. The entire front court fit just feels. It doesn't feel like there's any unified vision to it. It's just like we like these three players individually, which is fine. Yeah. Like you can like Markkanen, you can like Walker Kessler, you can like JJJ. I don't know how I feel about liking them so much that I'm going to be doing what. Like let's just try and put a value on this, right? If a team offers you 2 unprotected picks for Walker Kessler and you turn it down, that to me, if I'm his agent, I'm like, okay, the number starts at $30 million a year. $30 million a year. That's where it starts at. And I'm already basically giving $100 million combined starting next year to JJJ and Markkanen. I do not love that front court at $130 million worth of money. Like that's crazy to me. And I just don't really understand the vision.
Like the argument would be essentially you had Triple J and a max, you have Lauri Markkanen starting his max at like the same time, and then you have Walker Kessler extended. So like all of those guys were like cost controlled for about 4 to maybe 5 years, depending on what you give Kessler. I just don't like I think Ace Bailey doesn't really have a fit here. Like you're not playing. I don't think you play him at the 2. I don't even think he's good. So that's a different conversation.
So like he literally doesn't.
Nobody can dribble. Like nobody can dribble in this front court.
But like that, the roster construction over there is just so. It doesn't make any sense. They just have a collection of talent. Like Shwin said, they just have a collection of guys that they like and that are talented, but they don't have a clear vision for how it's supposed to be put together. And I think they're getting like. I think they're a little bit. I think they're jumping the gun a little bit because of how good Keontae George has looked this year without knowing if it's sustainable or not.
I also would not.
According to Tony Jones, he's on the cusp of being a top 30 player in the league.
A top 30
Markkanen, Markkanen and JJJ are also top 30 players. So,
and Cat's worse than Vooch, I've heard as well.
Yes. Omar, our pal from the Discord, has said about goddamn time. Indeed, got fleeced. Got Hallie on his rookie deal for Sabonis, bum ass. Neesmith as a throw-in for Senator Brogdon. Got Siakam for literal poop. Let's fucking go. Opt down. I agree.
I don't know if they got fleeced. I really don't.
I think they did. That's fucking crazy.
They definitely did. You can't.
Okay, even if it's not a fleece, it's not a fleece because they did not give up this year's pick. If they give up this year's pick, that one is nuts to me. I think
if they give up this year's pick, they still have Halliburton, Nembhard, Naismith, Siakam, Zubac being their top 5, and then they still have like depth around that. So I don't hate it. Like I don't hate it.
The big thing is Zubac's contract is really good too.
Yes, like you have him for 2 years at like $18 million. That's a good contract. Yeah. And then like, you still have depth around. Like you have TJ. You have TJ McConnell. You still have Obi Toppin whenever he wants to get back from injury. Ben Shepherd's like they're
operating with the same logic we operated in trading for Mikal. They're baking in the value of the contract into the trade. The difference is the Knicks' risk was entirely at the back end, right? It's like, okay, the 2029 pick, the 2031 pick. You were really not worried about the 2025 picks being anything. I'm not that worried about the 2027 pick being anything, but 2029, 2031, it's so far in the future, who knows, right? Pacers are loading the risk on right at the start. They're like, yo, we don't care if we give up the 6th pick in the draft. Like, really? You don't care if you give up the 6th pick in the draft? That seems fucking crazy. And then they're still having to take on the risk on the back end of the deal. Like you mentioned Pascal Siakam, right? Siakam is 31 years old. So if you don't convey the pick this year, in 2031, he's going to be 36. Is he even going to be on the team? Is he still going to be good? Like there's a lot of risk on both sides of this deal for them, and that's why I think it's weird, and I think it's an overpay. But
I also think that Zubac
like
is
you
gonna.
mentioned, they're starting 5 when Zubac is healthy. That's a good starting 5, and when Haliburton is back, obviously. And they, they'll have depth pieces. They can figure that shit out. But it's definitely a risk. I maybe not a fleece, but it could look like a fleece. I guess it has the potential to be a fleece.
Yeah, I mean they're betting on Zubac's not winning them games this year to push the pick to the Clippers, and also kind of just hoping that everything falls into place perfectly for them next year. Because no matter how strangely Mathurin fit into their roster construction and their salary sheet, he was a good player for them, and he was a big part of their teams when they have been playing winning basketball.
So Ja is stuck in Memphis. Is this official now?
I think so. It's 3 p.m. No Sabonis trade for everyone who's been super interested in that.
Which, again, what the fuck are the Kings doing? That's a question I've been asking myself for how long I've been alive. Good old 26 years of what the fuck are the Kings doing? I mean, my immediate loser of the fucking trade deadline has to be Miami and the Warriors. Because, god damn, the Warriors situation is bleak.
Warriors?
Yeah, Warriors, Miami, Orlando. Great, you ducked the tax, you still stink. Chicago traded out a bunch of guards just to bring back a bunch of guards. But now they have to pay those guards. Is Jaden Ivey somebody you really would put next to Josh Giddey? I don't think so. I
think I liked their guards before all the trades they made better.
I mean, they got 9 second-round picks out of it, so I guess it works out for them. But, that was confusing to me. Portland didn't really do shit. I thought Portland would probably, put some chips in. Milwaukee is just spinning their wheels. But I don't blame them for spinning their wheels. They're
going to convince Giannis they can contend next year, so.
Without making a significant trade or doing anything at this deadline. They're going to trade for Ja Morant.
I actually thought that might happen if Ja was not Ja.
Yeah, that'd be so disgusting too. Ja Morant and Giannis Antetokounmpo pick and roll.
The Portland thing
run picks.
Was there even a trade for Portland though? There's no trade for Portland. That was they got Krejci, which whatever. I think that's fine. And I don't know. They could have probably used another ball handler, but what are they going to do? Go for Kobe White? I don't know. Maybe that's not that big of a deal though to me. Ayo Dosunmu, maybe not that big of a deal to me. I don't know. I think if you still have Scoot, I'm not that high on him after what I've seen over the first 2 years, but see what he's going to be back here at some point soon. See what he does to close the year out, and then maybe you can make a more informed decision in the offseason. That feels like the move to me for them. They also feel like to me a team that's. I still think they're a year away from actually doing something big. There'll be less time left on the Drew contract, the Jeremy Grant contracts. That's a lot of money that they can put together, stack up. And then they have picks. They have those Bucks picks, right? So, yeah.
I think they've actually done a good job with how they've been handling their talent so far. An interesting question to me that I always think about with how they're playing right now is I feel like the most glaring need on their roster is you just need a point guard, right? Or somebody who you feel comfortable running the offense consistently. If they don't feel like Denny is that, is there a trade they can make to flip Denny and, some of their picks for an established guy they like? I don't know. You think Denny's ever Shwin, you have your thoughts on Denny Avdia?
I don't enjoy watching Denny Avdia play basketball, and I will leave it at that. That's where I'll leave it. Do they have a package? I don't know. Like the Bucks picks are good. Those picks are good. I think there'll be teams that still believe in Shaden Sharp. I think there'll be teams that value Tumani Kamara. I'm sure that I'm obviously there'll be teams that value Denny Avdia. Like there's no question that he will have value. But yeah, like I don't know what who are they waiting for? Who are they targeting? Who knows? I mean, the dumbest fucking thing I saw was like there was some report. It was like, oh, well, if you're not going to pull the trigger on Giannis, what are you waiting for? And it's like, dude, it's the fucking NBA, man. Like, motherfuckers become available all the time. They never expected. Who in their right mind? If I told you, fucking if I told you on Sunday, yo, James Harden's getting traded for Darius Garland, nobody would have believed that. Nobody was thinking that. Not a single person was thinking that or thought it was possible or was talking about it. Like, that was not a possibility until literally like 48 hours ago at fucking 1 a.m. or whatever it was. It was like, hey, guess what? James Harden doesn't want to be in LA anymore. And then it's done. Like, guys become available all the time. Luka Doncic got traded last fucking year. Yeah. And nobody knew that was possible. Guys get traded all the time. It will always happen. There will always be somebody that becomes available. So I never think you should operate on that. You should make any decision you make on, does this move make sense for us? Does the player make sense for us? Does it fit our timeline? Does it fit our goals in the short and long term? Whatever. And yeah, like, you know, ultimately, we'll see. But Portland's, I think they're okay. But the Lakers are a shit show. I mean, I don't know what the point of. I get that, like, I guess they have $50 million in cap space this year. Last I checked, this year's free agent crop is not particularly good. I don't feel like they've operated the entire year like the season doesn't matter. And it would not surprise me if we get some real peak LeBron mailing it in performances over the next couple of weeks here before he dials it back up for the playoffs.
Whoa, Brooklyn Nets waving Cam Thomas. Whoa.
Oh.
That we just found our 15th man.
Listen. You remember last year in the Discord where this became like a legitimate topic of discussion.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd actually be like that mad.
But if he actually bought into like just be a microwave scorer off the bench, that would be fine. The problem is like,
he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, he's like,
he's got like
Kobe.
Julius mentality.
No, he has Cam Reddish mentality.
No, he thinks he's Kobe. Like, yeah, I remember, I'll never forget it. So you know, like Sam Vecini does those like big ass fucking draft guide things, right? And I'll remember going through the 2021 one before that draft because the Knicks obviously had multiple picks. I remember Cam Thomas was a guy that the Knicks had met, and he was like being projected in that range. He obviously did go in that range. And I remember reading his fucking guide, his like report on Cam Thomas, and it was like, one part was just like Kobe Bryant is his idol, and I was like, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. He makes sense. His play style makes sense, and he just never got the memo that you can like idolize Kobe, but you are not Kobe. You're not Kobe, bro. They don't love you like that. They do not love you like that. All right, here we go. Jordan Bub asks the real questions. Who are the winners and losers of this trade deadline? We can start with losers since we're more of a negative-oriented podcast.
Definitely Miami. If they're actually
Miami is the biggest loser of this draft of this trade deadline to me.
Tyrese remuted.
Golden State's biggest loser of the draft. Sorry, Golden State's the biggest loser of the trade deadline.
I don't think
they traded for somebody who is not going to play and is probably this close to medical retirement.
They had to get off
Kuminga. What do you think his condition is?
The advanced version of Magic Johnson disease.
No, but like once it's okay.
They weren't like contending though.
Once Butler died, they were done. Like there was nothing they were doing to salvage the season.
They were like, they're gonna try and trade for Giannis though.
Yeah, like that was it.
They're gonna trade Jimmy for Giannis.
Like, there's nothing there. I think like if Butler was healthy, I would agree with that. But Butler's not. So once he's gone, it's over. I think their season is done. It was done in whatever capacity it's going to be done. Miami, they did nothing. Like they did nothing. And this is how many years in a row are we going to hear about? Oh, what Miami gets their picks. They can put those on the table, and they're young guys, Hawkeyes, and it's like nobody values these guys. And you know why they don't value them? I'll give you a great example of why nobody values Miami guys. Because today I watched Gabe fucking Vincent, who became the second coming of like Damian Lillard against the fucking Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals in 2023. He signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Lakers after that season. He probably played like fucking 7 games for them, was terrible in all of them, and got traded today with the second. He got salary dumped today with the second round pick for Luke fucking Kennard. This is why nobody values Miami players, because we all know it's fake. We know it's just Spo fucking sprinkling devil magic on them and making them greater than the sum of the parts, which is why nothing they do makes sense. Like they won't bottom out, but they won't make serious moves to really push themselves up the kind of talent ladder. And like they're fortunate, right, that Norman Powell even got to them. And even then, since like the start of the season, when everybody's like, oh my God, they don't run any pick, they don't use screens. Like this is so fucking crazy. And then the league was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just defend them like we did Memphis last year. And yeah, now they're exactly what they are. Like they're a plucky, slightly above 500 team with 0 offensive star power and Idris Adebayo, who is like somehow becoming the worst offensive center possible. And all this is going on.
Not somehow, Shwin. He did get into recent. He got involved with something recently. That
yes,
yes, might take away his love for the game a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I don't blame him for that. But
the hell did I miss?
This is going on while Eric Spoelstra is just like openly. He's just openly like, yeah, I fucking hate Khalil Ware. This guy's a piece of shit. Doesn't try. I'm like, oh, okay. Great. This is fun.
It's like the Mike Brown with Cat stuff, but 100 times.
I think Miami's a big loser. I kind of think that even like, I mean,
could Detroit be a loser?
They're not a big loser though.
They're not a big loser.
Not the biggest loser.
They're number one seed, so like you'll live with it.
Yeah, like, and honestly, I kind of understand why you would not be super aggressive if you're them. It's like the OKC thing back in 2024, right? Where they were like, we'll just get Gordon Hayward and this will be great. And then it was like, okay, maybe we should do more than get Gordon Hayward next year. And they did. And then they won a championship. So like, I get that. But yeah, I don't know. Miami to me is one. I think the Lakers are, I guess it's hard to call them the biggest loser because they kind of did clear cap space and stuff like that. Warriors are fair. They didn't really do anything. I think Houston is one. Houston's a big loser to me. Like they just stood pat. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, those are the two for me. I think Miami and Houston would be my biggest losers.
I would say most overrated is fucking the Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves, for whatever reason, got credit for letting Naw walk, keeping Conley, and keeping Dillingham to start the season, trading both of them, and then trading 4 second-round picks to go get Ayo Dosunmu, who is basically what you just let walk, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but you're just going to pay him like, yes, but somehow, some way, there are certain really bad gamblers on Twitter who act as fake reporters who want to talk about how Tim Connolly is such a genius and he's such a very good GM. And it's like, Tim Connolly just traded out a 2031 pick and a 2030 swap for a guy who is probably going to be playing in Israel next year. Like, what has Rob Dillingham and Mike Conley brought the Wolves franchise? Like, great, they missed the Western Conference Finals. Did you really think Mike Conley had anything to do with that? he's gonna get bought out. So like, I guess it works out for them. Oh wow, Tim Connolly thought so far ahead that Charlotte was gonna trade for Kobe White using Mike Conley's salary. Like
they also just like didn't actually. They just said like no to getting Kobe White in a trade because they thought they were gonna get Giannis. They were like
that's a piece that doesn't. Were they just going to get Kobe White in the trade, or were they like that's what I'm trying to figure out. So. Or were they like, you would have to give us the 3 second. But even if you were going to have to give 3 second-round picks for Kobe White,
who cares?
That's less than what they gave up for Dosunmu.
I think I said this. I think I'd rather have Kobe White on that team too than Io.
Yeah, like, why?
I don't know, like
who's looking at Kobe White and Io Dosunmu and going, "Oh wow, you know what? Like, you really need to give up a ton more for Io Dosunmu." Like, they're the same caliber player. The only difference is like Kobe White at least has been doing it a little longer, and I'm pretty sure he's younger. Yeah, he is younger. So like, what are you doing? Yeah. I don't know. Like, okay, I mean, I guess like they get Io Dosunmu, but you're also just like, you're probably going to pay him the same amount that you paid Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Io Dosunmu for his career is a minus 6.0, by the way.
I mean, the whole like, this is all culminating from the fact that they so desperately wanted to move Cat to get off his money because Rudy's such like a pillar there, and now they have to do like 80 different lateral moves to make sure that they can actually play around Rudy while still paying him. And then in the process, you lose guys like Nah, and then you have to give up like 6 more picks to get 75% of the players that you let walk.
All because you traded for Rob fucking Dillingham with the 8th pick. But don't let Matt Moore hear that, because Matt Moore's gonna be like, Tim Connolly has just revolutionized the way we think about basketball and GMing. I've never seen a guy like Tim Connolly get more credit for the fact that he just lucks into incredibly favorable situations.
Bro, he didn't draft Anthony Edwards. He didn't draft Naz Reid. He didn't draft Jaden McDaniels. He didn't draft Karl Anthony Towns. He inherited those players. His first trade is to trade all of his picks for Rudy Gobert. His best move unequivocally is the deadline trade where they get Mike Conley and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which he then decided, like you outlined, not to bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker, not only to retain Mike Conley and Rob Dillingham for another year, but also to then pay Naz Reid and Julius Randle.
I forgot they paid Naz and Julius.
And the reason they traded Cat was to break up his contract into smaller pieces, and the logic was they would be moving Julius Randle. They would be he's just flying by the seat of his pants. He's not a terrible GM, obviously, but this sequence of moves is unequivocally bad. Like, you traded your most valuable picks for Rob Dillingham. A year and a half later, you're attaching 4 seconds to him for Io Dosunmu at the deadline. Like, I like Io Dosunmu. He's the guy I would have wanted the Knicks to get the most. If the price kind of matched up with what I thought. That's a fucking crazy trade. Like, that's just a terrible sequence of events. That's so bad. Like, I don't even, there's no other way to describe it other than atrocious. Those are like, that's like a franchise crippling level of setback, honestly. Like, I don't think that's an exaggeration.
They're so lucky that Ant is there right now. Sorry. But, like, he's the only thing that's making this okay for Tim Connolly. He's the only reason that Connolly isn't fired yet.
Like, legitimately.
Because he's managing to keep them above, I mean, not even just above water. Ant's a fucking superstar. You can say what you want about him, but he's a top 10 player in the sport, probably. But I just, like, I don't know how you fumbled that poorly.
They're just moving money around for whatever reason, and I don't understand the logic in anything that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just Anthony Edwards just being Anthony Edwards. Like, Anthony Edwards is just having, like, an insanely, like, he's having an effective career year, and it's just masking the fact that this team's being held together by Anthony Edwards and duct tape.
The roster construction doesn't even make a ton of sense either. Like
yes, like
they got lucky that Jaden McDaniels took a shooting leap this year and decided he can actually like hit a couple corner threes. Dante's doing his share to carry the load of the 3-point volume with Ant. Because Nas, Julius, Jaden, neither of those guys get up a ton of threes. And they're kind of just like, let's hope we can hack and have Rudy rim protection to let us score more than the other team at the end of the buzzer. And we've seen how that's not really going to work in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, like, ultimately, they end up getting to the Western Conference Finals because the West is a fucking joke. But and don't let the mass media fool you. The West is still a fucking joke. But like,
I mean, they got an efficient Julius playoff run. Like, is that going to happen again?
No,
I don't know. He's having another good year this year, but we know more than better than anybody else as Knicks fans.
His playoff
he can
run
have
was a
a
bit
great
Nicky.
seasons, and yeah,
they got really good matchups. Like they played the Lakers, who did not have a front court. They played the Warriors. Steph Curry died in Game 1. They played, and then he was terrible against OKC. I know his true shooting percentage against OKC looked great. He was awful in those games. He was terrible in those games, aside from that random Game 4 where like the Wolves scored 750,000 points or whatever it was. But yeah, other than that, he was terrible in that series. And look, their roster is what at best it's as good as it was last year. Like that's the best case scenario. I think Denver's unequivocally better. OKC is better. Spurs are better.
San
Probably.
Antonio is just good this year.
Yeah, in a 7-game series, I would take San Antonio over them because they have more ball handling. Like that's really what it is, right? They have Fox, they have Harper. De'Aaron Fox is, I mean, Tyrese can speak to how much he fucking loves that guy. Harper,
they have Steph Castle for
he's winning me over. I will say that De'Aaron Fox is winning me over.
That's because nobody else has gotten paid yet, Tyrese.
Also, because like the team is so good, I can ignore the fact that he's been like playing like absolute dog shit. But whatever, it's fine. I don't give you play like dog shit. To get off the fucking way and give Dylan Harper the ball.
Yeah, Minnesota's a fair loser. Can I say a winner? I think nobody wants to give them credit. They did it way too late. It took way too long. I think the Bulls are a winner. I think they're a winner. They did what everybody's been begging them to do, finally. They blew it up. They traded guys for picks. Their roster makes no sense, which might matter if they were still trying to fake compete. But they're not trying to fake compete. Their roster makes no sense. This is perfect. They're going to be terrible the rest of the year. They're going to tank. They tanked too late. But they won if the question is who won the trade deadline, they won the trade deadline. Or they are a winner of the trade deadline because they finally did everything that they should have been doing probably like a year and a half ago. They finally did it. And they're even doing the right thing of like, oh, Josh Giddey, why don't you take the rest of the season off, buddy? Why don't you rest? They did a good job. And they get additional props for just accepting the Yabusele contract for free for absolutely no reason. So thank you, Arturas Karnisovas. You are good at Dykeman for the next 48 hours.
Like legitimately, we're giving Karnisovas nothing but like free halal food, and he gets a commentary plaque on the statue that we built for Jalen Brunson after he wins the championship. I mean, like they won the trade deadline because they only got one first round pick though. That's the nasty part. Like
out of all of Lonzo, Vooch, DeMar, Levine, Kobe, and Ayo, they got one first.
And I don't even think that first is going to convey. I think that's the first that they got from the Portland first. And I'm just like, I don't even know if that's going to convey.
It's funny. They did it so late, but you got to make the step eventually. And it's better late than never. To Shwin's point, at least they're not like trying to fake contend anymore. Their roster is literally like, it's like 17 guards and Yabu and Jalen Smith and now
and
like Nick Richards. Yeah, Nick Richards.
Yeah.
One of my winners of the trade deadline, I really, even though they didn't make a ton of moves, I really, really think that the Kobe White move for Charlotte is gonna help solidify them a little bit more. They gave up the full trade was 3 future seconds, and Colin Sexton for Kobe White and Mike Conley. Conley's going to get waived probably, but you're giving up 3 picks for a guy in Kobe White who you're probably going to re-sign, or is he might actually be on money already. Hold on.
I don't think he got his money yet.
No, he's in the final year of his contract. Yeah. So if they're looking to re-sign him, they probably should. They have the money for it, and that's not it's not a ton of value to give up for a guy who is not only proven to be fit the mold of somebody who can scale down and play off ball, even though we know he can be a dynamic on ball player. But he's also injury. He's a little bit of an injury bar for a guy like LaMelo, who obviously isn't the pinnacle of health. And it shows that they really believe in their talent and they believe in this recent stretch. And I honestly don't disagree with them on that opinion at all.
My winner of the trade deadline are the Washington Wizards.
They were my second, actually.
Yeah, you got Trae Young for nothing. You got Anthony Davis for nothing. You got the team that the Hawks wanted to build 6 weeks ago, which I think is hilarious. But I mean, ultimately, they're pretty good gambles. Those guys have 2 years. Maybe you could get them a little bit cheaper than their max contracts for an additional year of term. And ultimately, Trae Young, Alex Sarr, Keontae George, Anthony Davis, you could be a feisty play-in team, but it doesn't really cost you too much to be a feisty.
You mean Keyshawn George?
Keyshawn.
I'm sorry, there's too many damn Georges in the league.
They also have Bub and Kula. They have a nice collection of guys over there.
They need to come off Koulibaly. We need Koulibaly.
You weren't getting upside talent for less cost than they did. They gave up 2 fake firsts for AD, 3 seconds, and a bunch of guys that don't matter.
And they also
they gave up Kispert and who was the other thing in the deal?
It was
McCollum.
I was going to say they gave up their 2 biggest vet contracts in Middleton and CJ for guys who are on money, but if they want to try and start contending in the East, there's no better place to start than that.
The one caveat is they cannot extend Trae or AD. If they extend Trae or AD, then my evaluation changes. But
100%.
Before that, they are not affecting their ability to tank, which the NBA should punish them for and hand us their pick anyway. But they're going to tank. Those guys aren't playing, Trae and AD. So they're going to get their lotto shot this year. And then as long as they don't extend AD or Trae, play out next season. See what it looks like. See what those guys look like. I think Sarr and AD could be fucking awesome together if AD can stay on the floor for even, 55, 60 games. I don't think Trae Young is very good. I think his athletic decline is real in a way that I don't believe Brunson's athletic decline is real, as some people may have thought last night. But there's still an upside there to his playmaking and just helping, you don't need Bub Carrington running point. You don't need Keyshawn George running a bunch of pick and rolls. Put these guys in their appropriate role. So yeah, I liked it. And they kept their best assets, right? They have those swaps still from Phoenix. They have their first round picks. They're in okay condition. I think Charlotte did great at the deadline. I love everything that Charlotte did at the trade deadline. I've liked everything Charlotte's done other than basically draft T. John Salon for the last couple of years. I think they've done a really good job of cleaning up that situation, stacking up assets.
Respect Salon, by the way.
Sorry, say it again?
Respect Salon. Salon is actually solid this year.
He's been okay this year. He's been better this year. I probably would rather have Donovan Clingan, just going out on a limb. They have an identity. They established an identity this year, right? They launched threes. They're super efficient on offense. And then they leaned into it with their main acquisitions, the trade deadline. I love them getting Kobe White. I think that's an awesome deal for them. Take a flyer on him. If he's good, you can keep him. If not, okay, who cares? I mean, he's definitely better than Colin Sexton. That's fine. And they got Sexton for absolutely nothing. So I like everything they did. Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, what? Like, they're one game out of a play-in spot right now, the Hornets are, and they're 2 games out of the 8 seed. This is fine. Like, they're playing really good basketball. You only get a guy who, in theory, would help your offense remain consistent, and you don't really lose anything, like, on the defensive side of the ball. I'd never thought I would see the day where the Hornets become a competent organization, but I guess all you need to do is get rid of Michael Jordan and let him sail off into the sunset.
Yeah. Also, I think a probably underrated winner, just because like it was ugly the way they got there. I want to say Memphis. Like, I think Memphis just getting out of Jaren Jackson Jr., getting those picks. They got out of Bane, obviously. I think they'll find something for John Moran at the offseason. I think Memphis came out pretty well, all things considered. Like, they have all their picks moving forward. They have a bunch of capital to play with. I don't think anybody thought it was going to work with Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and they still have a bunch of guys they drafted that are pretty effective. So I think Memphis came out of this pretty well for like a tanking team.
I'd probably have them as a sure winner if they could have gotten off the jaw situation. But it's very clear that they let that. Well, I mean, I don't even know if you can say they let it fester for too long because it's such a weird, unique circumstance with his contract and the off the court stuff and everything. But no, I don't mind the value they got back for Jaren at all. You'll take 3 firsts, and they obviously are taking some flyers on guys like Walter Clayton and Taylor Hendricks, who Hendricks I'm especially curious about in the long term. I think he could turn out to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing you could say about Memphis is like whatever they're. I don't buy this whole thing that like I saw Sam Vecini say, and I saw a lot of people kind of agree with it, that their front office they did nothing wrong, like they couldn't control any of this. These are everything. All these circumstances appeared out of their control. I don't really buy that, but they correctly identified last year, like, yeah, this is over. This team is not going anywhere. They traded Bane at peak value, probably, or close to it anyway. They traded Jaren Jackson at peak value or close to it anyway. The Morant thing was done. Like, there's no good trade for them. They're not going to find it, and they need him to either rehab his value or get closer to the end of his contract. But it is what it is. I like, yeah, and to the point you made, like, Taylor Hendricks to me is interesting. He obviously had a severe injury last year. He has not looked as athletic as kind of, he was pre-injury, but that makes sense to me because he's a year coming off that. I think he's building himself back up. It's also kind of the reason why I like Ivy as a swing for the Bulls. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Take a chance. Maybe they bounce back athletically in a year's time. So I like that one for Memphis. And, I'm not the biggest. I liked Walter. I liked Walter Clayton a lot after the NCAA tournament because he looked awesome in the NCAA tournament. I saw him play an amazingly hilarious fourth quarter against OKC like a month ago, which is among the worst performances I've seen all season. But, again, you're getting a free flyer on the guy. Why not? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect you. And, I mean, if there's any criticism, you would kind of wish that they could have found a way to take on some salary and get more picks. But, like, those trades don't seem to have been out there today at the trade deadline. So, I think what they did is good, and they definitely deserve a lot of credit for it. So, yeah.
One trade that we didn't talk about that I think is actually it's a win-win for both teams. Jared McCain got traded yesterday to OKC for I like
that trade for OKC.
I think it was 3 seconds.
First and 3 seconds.
Not only does OKC once again steal a young guard from the Sixers from a crowded guard room, but the Sixers also just get off of Jared McCain, who has not only not looked the same since his injury, but also really been struggling to find a role in the Sixers guard room right now, which is like VJ and Maxey and Shwin's favorite player, Quentin Grimes. So I like that trade for both teams. I'm interested to see how McCain fits in OKC as a part of their future. It might have been you, Shwin, actually. You said this in the Discord yesterday when we were talking about it, but the chance they move off AJ in the summer for whatever reason. Don't know why they would do that, but I don't know. I feels like a good trade for both teams, especially since McCain needed a fresh start and Philly just Isaiah Joe, that trade was like 3 years ago, and now he's been consistently a solid part of the Thunder's rotation since.
I don't mind getting a first back for McCain because maybe he's damaged goods, I guess. Like, it's possible they know more about his medical stuff than me. I would have been very reluctant to give up on him. I thought his rookie year before he got hurt was fucking awesome. And if he's recovering from a knee injury that kept him out for God knows however many months, and then he had like a finger thing this year, right? His thumb or something like that.
Yeah, UCL.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have been that worried about it. But look, they do have a lot of guards. They're a guard-heavy team. They had a lot invested into the guards, right? Maxi's on his big contract. Edgecombe is, the third pick overall?
Yeah.
I guess they're going to bring back Grimes. At least that was the reporting after they did the McCain trade. So I get it. Like, get back the first, get back some seconds. Cool. But for OKC, I think that's a fucking awesome home run type swing. Like, maybe he isn't damaged goods. Maybe McCain is just the injury he had is going to send him back for the rest of his career. With the way modern medicine is, I don't know that I fully believe that. Although maybe RFK will make it a reality. But like, I just think McCain's really talented, and he's not just a good shooter. His release is so fucking quick. Like, he does not need much time or space to get out the three. And one of the biggest problems OKC has had in the playoffs has been how bad their three-point shooting has fallen off from the regular season to the postseason. I don't know that McCain is going to scale up and be functional. Definitely not this year. But, like, in theory, that's exactly the type of guy that would make sense for them and could add value to them. So I think that was a really good move for them, unfortunately.
Yep. OKC is just weird to me. I think they have a bunch of pieces and they don't want to pay the tax. So I do think that part of it, this is like they're shuffling shares. I feel like a lot of the trade deadline is just like shuffling shares now.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just cap gymnastics too.
Yeah, which makes it fun because like you get random trades where like washed all-stars are just like swapping teams. But I think for me, I'm just like, I get why OKC did it. I get why the Sixers did it. I still just don't like it for OKC. I really don't think that they really need McCain. And I don't even think he like plays in the rotation when everybody's healthy. So I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing with McCain.
It's less about them needing him per se and more about the fact that they already they're super high on their internal evaluation of guys, and they think they obviously see something in him. They're like, if Philly wants to give him up, we have the surplus of picks to be able to go and take a flyer on a guy we really like. And to Schwin's point, I think when McCain actually, if he gets back to full health, his ability to just kind of similarly to how Dante was for us, just that like full confidence, no hesitation on the release. He can get up volume. We've seen it last year. And like, I don't know, sacrifice Lou Dort. It's like they have decisions to make, but I think it's easy for right now to just take on that talent and see if you can, win another chip before you have to make the decision on contracts and stuff like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Send Lou James Harrison to Tel Aviv and keep AJ. I am a little surprised though that OKC did. I guess I'm not. Maybe not surprised is the wrong word, but I wonder if they will come to regret it because, as good as they are, they have felt very. They felt more vulnerable this year for sure than they felt last year, even in the regular season. We'll have to see.
They're not they're not getting the max out of all of the this might sound insane to say because they just won the chip last year, but I don't even know if I love their roster construction that much.
they're worse in the playoffs than they are in the regular season, but that's the shooting thing. Like they also it's kind of funny because they are like, the model for how every team should build. They don't have wings.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like it's all like
weird.
ones and
they just
twos,
don't do it.
and then
they want the ball
centers.
pressure guards. Yeah, they want the ball pressure guards, and they have basically two bigs, Hartenstein and Chet, and then they have big Jalen, who doesn't play in the playoffs.
J-Dub is like their only actual wing.
Yeah, and he's not like a big wing.
And I guess like Kenrich Williams.
Kenrich, yeah, but he doesn't play in the playoffs half the time. Yeah, so it's like they're just a very oddly built team. But like, look, when they're healthy, their defense is crazy. They'll lock you up. Although maybe the NBA has caught on to their tactics and is cracking down on their defense and on SGA. We'll have to stay tuned.
The clip of Dante beating the shit out of a Shea at half court from a couple of games ago, it just cracked me up. That's pretty good.
Yes, that was good.
And now Shea's mysteriously out. He's injured, right, Shea?
Yeah, they said that he has an ab strain.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with that stuff. I wonder if that's another reason they're like, maybe McCain can just help spell some on-ball creation stuff while Shea's recovering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's also like it cost them what, the Houston first this year, which like they got the fucking Clippers first, so they're good to go. They don't need anything. But I think the team, I don't know. I guess we should probably talk about it. We're probably gonna wrap up with this. We had Cleveland and the Clippers make a big trade, obviously, which was Harden going to Cleveland, and the Clippers Garland going to LA and Harden going to Cleveland. I still kind of like this trade for Cleveland. I'm sorry. Like I know it's a really weird trade. I think they're definitely better this season with Harden than they were with Garland, if for no other reason than that we know Harden is going to play games. We don't know if Garland will or not. Who knows what's going on with his foot? But I still don't actually feel like I'm worried about Cleveland in the playoffs because I don't believe in Harden in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's pretty much where I land too. I'm like they objectively just, like you said, they just get better because Harden has been healthy and will just help them win games. I think he and Donovan are a more dynamic regular season duo than Donovan and Garland, but like we've seen Harden fail with literally every iteration of him with another star. Guard, forward, big, it doesn't matter. It never works. And especially when you have another like 30+ usage guy like Donovan. Good luck, man.
Yeah, like the thing with Harden is like Harden's never had that as a star. Like Chris Paul was very complimentary.
Russ, I guess, is the closest thing.
Yeah, like Russ is the closest thing, and that wasn't even good. Like they've had Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie Irving is much more complimentary. Like he doesn't need a ton of usage to be effective. And now you're going to like Donovan Mitchell, who's never had to play off ball in his life.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know if Donovan can't play off ball. It's just like he's not somebody that you scale down because it significantly cuts how impactful he is to your team.
I also don't know how Donovan Mitchell's going to do the hero ball shit this playoffs. Because like James Harden is just going to have the ball. Like you can pull that shit with Darius Garland. You can't pull that shit with James Harden. But the problem is James Harden's going to go like 4 for 17.
But Harden did play. Harden played with Kawhi. Like he's fine playing with Kawhi. I don't think I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. The bigger deal isn't. It's not going to be. Will they be able to keep both guys happy and both have enough touches to rock? I think the actual problem is the way that Harden does that is like it's all like take your turn stuff, and so that will be the issue. Like I don't think they're going to be, elevating each other or anything of that nature. I will say Harden will definitely get more. Like he will help Mobley and Allen have better offensive production. But how much
And
does
if
that really raise their ceiling? I don't know.
And if he can't, then like it's just cooked for both those guys. It's cooked. If Harden can't help you offensively, it's over.
I mean, because you also have to assume that the Cavs said they'd extend Harden, right? If that's the whole reason he got traded from LA. That's a pretty big bet you're making.
Yeah.
Or Garland is actually like his medicals are just completely cooked, and you're getting all the value you can for him, which is a complete possibility in itself.
Yeah. I'm also a little bit surprised that they did nothing else, actually.
Well, the Cavs?
I thought they would do... Well, I know they did the Hunter deal, but I thought they would do more today. I was a little bit surprised by that, but maybe nothing kind of popped up for them. I kind of was assuming they were going to try to get under the second apron.
I'm surprised Schroeder is still there, for sure. I didn't really think he would stick, honestly.
Well, that's what I thought they were going to try and dump him and get under the second apron.
Yeah, that would have made the most sense. Yeah, I mean, they also they gave up a future second in the trade as well. Actually, kind of hilarious that you're giving up a guy like 7 years younger and also the pick for James Harden, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end this, unless you guys have any takes you want to get off before I get out of here.
No, not unless shout out to Jalen Brunson. That's all I'll say. Made a trade deadline day significantly more light and enjoyable.
Yes. It was nice to have a deadline day off of an 8th straight win rather than off of a loss that was handed to the Nuggets by I don't know what the hell that officiating crew was yesterday. Good God.
I know, we get to snob it up until Friday. Like, watch all the other teams make deadline deals in order to try to save their season.
Today's slate of hoops are going to be it's going to be elite hoops.
It's the greatest game, it's the greatest day this fucking season. Like, it just, all the teams that made trades and shit.
Besides, like, the last day of the NBA season where everyone plays and nobody plays their guys, this is it.
Yes. Like, there's so many guys. Like, this is a parlay dream.
Sam has, like, he has a buck on every game tonight.
Sam is, like, crunching Red Bull and tape right now. Like,
Sam's great. Come on, man. Red Bull doesn't get it done at his old age now.
Yeah, I know. He needs the milk of magnesia. Not until March. March.
It was good. It's good to get an 8th straight win. Fuck those refs, man. They let anything go at the end of a game, and they call a fucking box out that literally didn't matter. Like, literally didn't matter. They were like, the game was done. He was not getting that rebound. It was over. Nobody thought. The fucking Nuggets weren't asking for the call. They were not asking for the call. They were just like ready to walk off. And that fucking midget-looking fucking Hitler Youth candidate called it foul. Tyler Adams or whatever his name is. That was ridiculous, man. I could not believe that.
The only Tyler we respect is Tyler Murray.
And
of course, fucking Christian Brown makes both free throws too. Like, fuck off, dude. That's a free throw.
And he was like set. What? Did he even score up until that point? I think he might have had one bucket.
Yeah.
He did nothing the entire game. He was just out there looking scary, like being an ICE agent or something.
One thing I will say though, shout out to Mitchell Robinson, man. That dude continues to absolutely like blow my mind in terms of what I expect of him ever. Because at the beginning of this year, I thought he like would never play a game of basketball again for us, and now he's like locking up Jokic and holding him to what he shot like 1 of 13 from 3 or some shit last night. Mitch was phenomenal.
Getting locked up by Big Ice, you know. Big MAGA, big 47th administration, you know. That's why we condition his beard.
No, he looks great. He's playing great. Please just stay healthy. That's all I care about. It feels like Mike Brown's kind of figured out how he wants to use him and Cat together, when to use them together. And the biggest thing, like, I was really impressed with this last night because it felt like a lot more during the game. Probably because the first quarter took about fucking an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, man.
But Cat played 31 minutes. And Mitch only played 23 minutes. I would have guessed that Mitch played like 30 minutes or something last night. Like, that was really impressive. I think, I have my own issues with Mike Brown. I don't think he's perfect. I mean, no coach is perfect. But one thing I appreciate that he did and has done consistently in these back-to-back situations is kind of buy minutes for his guys by using your depth earlier in the game. So, like, he had some weird ass fucking lineups out there in the first half. I think there was one with, I'm pretty sure it was like Kolek, McCullough, Diawara, McCall, and Huck Porty at one point. I'm pretty confident that was a lineup that was out there. And like, again, like the collective usage of that lineup is probably like fucking 65
15.
Or something. So, it's fine. Like, that's what you have to do in those moments. But that's how you play a game that goes double overtime, and you're looking at your center's minutes and you're like, oh, actually, that wasn't that bad. And shout out to Cat for getting into foul trouble.
I thought he actually had a really good game last night, though.
No, he was great. He was great.
That was phenomenal. Like, he finally started playing, or well, he fucking headbutted Spencer Jones or whoever, and then decided like he could play basketball again for some reason, which I'm not complaining about. But
it will come up with psychosis.
I think everybody played pretty fucking good, other than like McCall and Clarkson, and that's about it.
McHale playing 50 minutes to finish with a 5-4-4 box score is. This is why he gets so much criticism.
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
I don't care.
I did not mind him not trying to do a lot yesterday because you could tell pretty early in that fucking game that was going to be one of those games where if he takes like 17 shots, we're getting another like 3 of 17. I didn't mind it. I honestly didn't. I thought he competed defensively. Was he perfect? No, obviously not. The guy, like you said, he put 5, 4, and 4 up in 48 minutes or whatever it was. Like, he clearly did plenty of things bad that he could have done better. But it was not. I guess the best way to put it is like, I know what like. I feel like when I'm watching a McCall game and I'm like, this is awful. That was not the reaction I was having watching that yesterday. Like, this is not like he acted like every screen was being set by, like fucking Thor or something. So, yeah. Shout out to the fucking Nuggets screen setters, though, man. Fucking Jokic and Valanciunas are got to be like the best screen setting center duo in the NBA. It's fucking wild.
The greatest white privilege screens I've ever seen in my life.
We managed to scrape together like 4 illegal screens, and it should have been like 14 at least.
Yeah.
That was real Eastern Bloc hours on those screens. Real communist, the real Soviet bloc hours.
Their legs were far as part of the fucking Berlin Wall. Like, it was just like they were not
like illegal screens. You're a big fan. But you're a big fan of walls down there in Texas, aren't you?
All right, dude. All right. Okay. My culture is not your costume.
Texas is your culture now?
No.
All right. I think it's a good place to have this. Luca, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'll just say keep an eye out over the next couple of days for Strictly NFL. Hopefully we can get that up before the Super Bowl. We're planning on recording either tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that.
Dope. Tyrese, anything you want to plug before we get out?
No, just follow me on Twitter. I have a lot of rousing thoughts at Presidente. That's what a Z. I'm very excited.
Underscore. There's underscore.
Underscore Presidente on Twitter. I have a lot of thoughts about my fellow countrymen. Jose Alvarado joining the team. I think it's been a good week for my country with Bad Bunny and Jose Alvarado. Francisco Lindor got his insurance tonight, but we're up though. That's really it. That's all I got. We love Platanos and Coquito.
Congrats to you and the family on this this huge occasion.
Yeah. Dale, yeah.
I had nothing to plug, so I will just plug all of the stuff that they did, especially Presidente's Twitter, but also Strictly NFL. Check that out. Thank you to our sponsor, FanDuel. Thank you to everybody for the comments. Appreciate all of them. And me and Prez are going to record the pod tomorrow morning, so that will be out at some point tomorrow afternoon before the Pistons game. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Thanks, everybody, again. And I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.